datang dari berbagai daerah untuk mencapai sebuah tujuan. Mimpi kami sangat tinggi. Di tempat inilah kami belajar serta berproses untuk bekal di masa depan kami. Dalam mempersiapkan SDM yang unggul di bidang teknologi, hukum, bisnis, ilmu kesehatan, serta teknologi pangan, Universitas Sugeng Hartono siap berkontribusi dalam dunia pendidikan nasional. Universitas Sugeng Hartono didirikan oleh Yayasan Indriati pada tahun 2021 dengan nama Institut Teknologi Sains dan Kesehatan Sugeng Hartono. Kemudian, tepat pada tanggal 15 Februari 2024, ITSK Sugeng Hartono berubah bentuk menjadi Universitas Sugeng Hartono berdasarkan surat keputusan Menteri Pendidikan, Kebudayaan, Riset, dan Teknologi Republik Indonesia. Disinilah kami belajar dan dibentuk untuk menjadi lulusan yang profesional sesuai bidang pendidikan yang kami tempuh, dan tentunya siap bersaing di dunia kerja. Perkembangan teknologi sangatlah meningkat pesat, sehingga membutuhkan sumber daya manusia yang berkualitas dalam segala bidang. Untuk menunjang mahasiswa dalam kualitas belajar yang baik, kami akan didampingi oleh dosen pengajar yang berkualitas dan telah diakui kredibilitas sesuai di bidangnya. Internship dan berbagai proyek merupakan salah satu kewajiban kami selama belajar di sini, untuk memastikan kami siap bersaing di dunia kerja yang sebenarnya. Universitas Sugeng Hartono memiliki 2 fakultas, yaitu Fakultas Teknologi, Hukum, dan Bisnis, serta Fakultas Pangan dan Ilmu Kesehatan. Program studi yang ditawarkan meliputi S1 Informatika yang bertujuan menghasilkan lulusan kompeten di bidang ilmu komputer dengan karakter entrepreneur dan kemampuan bersaing di tingkat nasional serta internasional. S1 Bisnis Digital yang dirancang untuk menghasilkan lulusan yang mampu memanfaatkan teknologi informasi dan digital serta menciptakan inovasi dengan model bisnis masa kini. S1 Hukum Bisnis yang bertujuan menghasilkan sarjana hukum bisnis berkarakter, unggul, berwawasan kewirausahaan, dan mampu bersaing di tingkat internasional. S1 Manajemen Bisnis Internasional yang dirancang untuk menghasilkan lulusan kompeten di bidang manajemen bisnis internasional dengan jiwa entrepreneur dan adaptif terhadap tuntutan bisnis global. S1 Teknologi Pangan yang bertujuan menghasilkan lulusan yang mampu menganalisis kualitas proses pengolahan pangan dari bahan baku hingga produk. S1 Gizi yang dirancang untuk menghasilkan lulusan kompeten di bidang gizi dengan kemampuan entrepreneurship. Universitas Sugeng Hartono menyediakan berbagai fasilitas pendukung akademik seperti lab komputer, lab multimedia, perpustakaan, lab mood court, lab kimia, lab penelitian status gizi, lab teknologi pangan, kuliner, dan dietetik, serta fasilitas lainnya seperti musola, klinik kesehatan, auditorium, dan lounge. Universitas Sugeng Hartono juga memiliki beberapa sister company, di antaranya Rumah Sakit Indriati, Grand Mercure Hotel, Five Hotel, Swiss Bell Hotel, Alana Hotel, serta masih terdapat sister company lainnya yang tersebar di seluruh Indonesia. Untuk itu, mari bergabung bersama kami. Kita gapai semua mimpi-mimpi untuk masa depan yang lebih cerah bersama Universitas Sugeng Hartono. Universitas Sugeng Hartono, Building the Nation Through Education. Adaptif, kreatif, mandiri. Sukoharjo adalah sebuah kabupaten di Jawa Tengah yang terkenal dengan kekayaan alamnya yang subur. Di daerah ini terdapat kawasan maju yang menjadi pusat bisnis bernama Solo Baru, yang juga merupakan perbatasan antara kota Surakarta dan Kabupaten Sukoharjo. Di tempat ini, masing-masing dari kami datang dari berbagai daerah untuk mencapai sebuah tujuan. Mimpi kami sangat tinggi. Di tempat inilah kami belajar serta berproses untuk bekal di masa depan kami. Dalam mempersiapkan SDM yang unggul di bidang teknologi, hukum, bisnis, ilmu kesehatan, serta teknologi pangan, Universitas Sugeng Hartono siap berkontribusi dalam dunia pendidikan nasional. Universitas Sugeng Hartono didirikan oleh Yayasan Indriati pada tahun 2021 dengan nama Institut Teknologi Sains dan Kesehatan Sugeng Hartono. Kemudian, tepat pada tanggal 15 Februari 2024, ITSK Sugeng Hartono berubah bentuk menjadi Universitas Sugeng Hartono berdasarkan surat keputusan Menteri Pendidikan, Kebudayaan, Riset, dan Teknologi Republik Indonesia. Disinilah kami belajar dan dibentuk untuk menjadi lulusan yang profesional sesuai bidang pendidikan yang kami tempuh, dan tentunya siap bersaing di dunia kerja. Perkembangan teknologi sangatlah meningkat pesat, sehingga membutuhkan sumber daya manusia yang berkualitas dalam segala bidang. Untuk menunjang mahasiswa dalam kualitas belajar yang baik, kami akan didampingi oleh dosen pengajar yang berkualitas dan telah diakui kredibilitas sesuai di bidangnya. Internship dan berbagai proyek merupakan salah satu kewajiban kami selama belajar di sini, untuk memastikan kami siap bersaing di dunia kerja yang sebenarnya. Universitas Sugeng Hartono memiliki 2 fakultas, yaitu Fakultas Teknologi, Hukum, dan Bisnis, serta Fakultas Pangan dan Ilmu Kesehatan. Program studi yang ditawarkan meliputi S1 Informatika yang bertujuan menghasilkan lulusan kompeten di bidang ilmu komputer dengan karakter entrepreneur dan kemampuan bersaing di tingkat nasional serta internasional. S1 Bisnis Digital yang dirancang untuk menghasilkan lulusan yang mampu memanfaatkan teknologi informasi dan digital serta menciptakan inovasi dengan model bisnis masa kini. S1 Hukum Bisnis yang bertujuan menghasilkan sarjana hukum bisnis berkarakter, unggul, berwawasan kewirausahaan, dan mampu bersaing di tingkat internasional. S1 Manajemen Bisnis Internasional yang dirancang untuk menghasilkan lulusan kompeten di bidang manajemen bisnis internasional dengan jiwa entrepreneur dan adaptif terhadap tuntutan bisnis global. S1 Teknologi Pangan yang bertujuan menghasilkan lulusan yang mampu menganalisis kualitas proses pengolahan pangan dari bahan baku hingga produk. S1 Gizi yang dirancang untuk menghasilkan lulusan kompeten di bidang gizi dengan kemampuan entrepreneurship. Universitas Sugeng Hartono menyediakan berbagai fasilitas pendukung akademik seperti lab komputer, lab multimedia, perpustakaan, lab lab penelitian status gizi, lab teknologi pangan, kuliner, dan dietetik, serta fasilitas lainnya seperti musola, klinik kesehatan, auditorium, dan lounge. Universitas Sugeng Hartono juga memiliki beberapa sister company, di antaranya Rumah Sakit Indriati, Grand Mercure Hotel, Five Hotel, Swiss Bell Hotel, Alana Hotel, serta masih terdapat sister company lainnya yang tersebar di seluruh Indonesia. Untuk itu, mari bergabung bersama kami. Kita gapai semua mimpi-mimpi untuk masa depan yang lebih cerah bersama Universitas Sugeng Hartono. Universitas Sugeng Hartono, Building the Nation Through Education. Adaptif, kreatif, mandiri.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon from Indonesia. A warm welcome to all of you joining us today from across the globe. Before we officially begin, let us please take a moment to settle in, check your internet, and prepare to explore an exciting topic that connects artificial intelligence with real world impact. To begin our session with the spirit of unity and pride, let's now listen to and sing together our national anthem, Indonesia Raya, followed by the University March of Universitas Sugeng Hartono. Please wait for a moment.
Perguruan Tinggi Sugeng Hartono mengembangkan ilmu dan teknologi dalam menggapai cita dan asa berbakti untuk negara tercinta. Perguruan Tinggi Sugeng Hartono wujudkan tridharma perguruan tinggi. Disinilah aku ditempa berkarya mengemban tugas mulia. Adaptif, kreatif dan mandiri menjadi pengembangan ilmu dan teknologi. Adaptif, kreatif dan mandiri, itulah jiwa dan nilai kami untuk masa depan yang gemilang. Adaptif, kreatif dan mandiri menjadi pengembangan ilmu dan teknologi. Adaptif, kreatif dan mandiri, itulah jiwa dan nilai kami untuk masa depan yang gemilang. Engkaulah alma materku tercinta.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera bagi kita semua. Salam Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, Salam Kebajikan. My name is Adi, and I'm honored to serve as your host, moderator, and translator with this afternoon's event. I'm also a lecturer of English at Universitas Sugeng Hartono and will help facilitate communication throughout this session. This virtual seminar is proudly hosted by Universitas Sugeng Hartono, USH, in collaboration with Universitas Budi Dharma, UBD. Today's topic is both timely and transformative. As AI rapidly shapes the way we work, govern, and live, this seminar invites us to take a closer look at how we, as scholars, educators, and professionals, can engage with these changes in meaningful ways. Before we dive in, allow me to open with a light thought. Why did the robot go back to university? Do any of you know the answer? Why did the robot go back to university? It's only a little joke, everybody, because it had a lot of processing to do. In computing and AI, robots and computers process quote unquote information, calculate, analyze, or execute tasks. In university life, processing, quote unquote, can also mean thinking deeply, studying, or understanding complex ideas. Something of all of us here do regularly. In many ways, we are all here today for the same reason: to process, to reflect, and to reimagine what the future could look like. We would like to extend a special welcome to our distinguished attendees today, including the Rector of Universitas Sugeng Hartono, Mr. Associate Professor Jacob Dedan, the first Vice Rector, Mrs. Fitria Ahayu Palupi, the second Vice Rector, Mr. Ahmad Aufaribi, the Dean of the Faculty of Technology, Law and Business, Mrs. Nimas Ratnazari, the heads of undergraduate study programs in informatics, digital business, business law, and international business management. The rector of Universitas Budi Dharma, Mrs. Dr. Lima Jatini, SEMM, BKP. The Dean of the Faculty of Business, Mrs. Rorodian Anggraini, SEMSI. The heads of the related undergraduate study programs, faculty members, researchers, students, and respected guests from both USH and UBD, as well as other participants from various institutions. Thank you for gracing this session with your presence. Unfortunately, since Mr. Associate Professor Jacob Dedan is busy at the moment, let us invite the Dean of the Faculty of Technology, Law, Business, Mrs. Nimas Ratnazari, to deliver her official opening remarks. Mrs. Nimas, the screen is yours.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of our rector, Mr. Associate Jacob Detan, I would like to open this agenda, and I'm delighted to welcome you in this session in the webinar entitled AI and Beyond. And first of all, I would like to extend a warm welcome and our gratitude to our distinguished speaker, Mr. Katiyar. I see that he's already joining here. And as well as the representative from Universitas Budi Dharma. And I would like to say thank you for the great opportunity and collaboration in making this event possible. So without further ado, let us start this session. I hope this session will be interactive and insightful and also inspiring for all of you. So I would like to continue this session. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for your inspiring words, Mrs. Nimas. Without further ado, it's my great pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker, Mr. Shiv A. Katiyar. He is a research fellow in artificial intelligence and robotics at the University of Birmingham in the United Kingdom. He holds a PhD in artificial intelligence and robotics from Monash University, awarded in collaboration with the University of Cambridge. His doctoral research focused on the design and control of energy-efficient soft robots, particularly in the area of adaptive morphology. He also earned a master's degree in artificial intelligence and robotics from the Indian Institute of Information Technology, where he specialized in reinforcement learning and robotic gate generation. Professionally, Mr. Katiyar has contributed to cutting-edge projects in robotics, computer vision, machine learning, and sustainable innovation. Notably, he held the prestigious research fellowship at EPFL in Switzerland, where he worked on the application of AI in agriculture. He has also served as the robotics and automation trainer, business intelligence analyst, and teaching assistant at various institutions. With such a diverse and impactful background, Mr. Katiyar brings not only technical expertise, but also a forward-thinking version of how AI and robotics can contribute to global sustainability and innovation. Now, please join me in warmly welcoming Mr. Shiv A. Katiyar to take the virtual stage. Mr. Katiyar, the screen is yours.
Good afternoon, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, you are, sir.
Oh, all right. Thank you so much for the confirmation, and thank you so much for such a warm welcome. So, as you already know, today's topic, we will be talking about AI and beyond, and how these emerging technologies are revolutionizing everything, like the area we live in. So, I'll be starting with a few things. So, first, I'll try to start sharing my screen. Just give me a moment. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Oh, all right. Thank you so much for the confirmation. So in this case, what we'll be talking about is how we can use AI and its technologies for our betterment, right? So here in this case, I'll just give a brief introduction that what we'll be talking about. We'll be talking about the emerging and frontier technologies. We'll be exploring impact of AI across industries, and then we will be examining the legal, ethical, and urban transformation framework. So there's a lot of things to visualize. There's a lot of things to see, like how these things will work. So I'll just start with a question here. I will ask all of you who are available to either go on this link, vvox.app, or try to scan this QR code so that you can give your responses. All right. So once you have done it, like it will ask you some questions. So first question is like, I would just want to know how diverse the audience is. So I just want to know like how closely are you related to, which field you are related to, or which sector you study in. So you can select any of these. If not, so then you also have an option to put in your responses. Okay. So you can just go at the top. It's vivox.app, and then you have to enter this ID. Okay, let me just see if I can. So this is the QR code you can scan through your mobile phone. If not, you can also log in, like just going to your browser and typing vivox.app and then putting in the ID, right? Right. So as I can see here, like quite a few of you have answered. So most of you are from business background. Some of you have like computer science background, and few of you like are around similar number, like 10% each are from law and research. So it's good that quite a few number of people are here from diverse backgrounds, and we will see like how we can change this. So those of you who haven't, or who don't fall into any of these categories, you can just type in your answer, and then you can just, in this answer, you should be able to type in like what you are. So before further ado, I'll just start in this case and then see like how you want to start. Okay. So I'll just talk about the basics today. What do we mean by AI and beyond? And what do we mean by these critical or like emerging or like frontier technologies? So in this case, like what we'll be talking about is like AI, artificial intelligence, what is Internet of Things, quantum computing, robotics, and etc. So with that, like I'll just take a few moments to like just tell like what AI leads to in like ASEAN, specifically like what it's doing. So let me just see like if I can access this video. Yeah. So I'll just try to share my screen, and then I'll just try to see like if I can play this video as well. So this is just gives a background on like how we use AI, and then how we can use AI for a purpose. Okay. Just give me a moment. I'll just share my screen and sound with you.
Must increase by 70% to meet growing population demands. We have 2/3 of the world's population that are living in water-stressed countries. Critical and emerging technologies are the technologies that are going to help us solve these critical challenges. My name's Brendan Dowling.
So this is like one of the research I was involved in with when I was studying at Monash University. and they are like working on how this can be influenced. So you just got an idea about like what emerging technologies are. So I won't be going into like full video, but I'll just talking about like what he's talking about in a nutshell.
If developed and deployed right for the region, can be a massive change in the way that we take advantage of the digital economy, but it does take us all working together to shape these technologies in a way that benefits our people. Through the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade in Australia, we support a range of programs, including the Critical Technology Cooperation Program, which helps to promote the benefits of interoperable standards across the region and ensures that we maximise the opportunities that technologies create and minimise the risks. Critical and emerging technologies are the technologies that underpin everything about how we live our lives. They're the technologies that are changing the way that we connect to the internet, that we take advantage of the global digital economy, but they're also the technologies that are leading to productivity boosts in our workplaces, that are maximising the benefits of agriculture, that are dealing with issues like climate change mitigation. We do see a lot of concern that new technologies are going to replace time-honoured traditions.
So I just want to shift your focus to the ASEAN participation. I hope you all understand, like Indonesia, Malaysia, Vietnam, Cambodia, like all these countries, they form this ASEAN standard. So in this case, this is something we are looking
at. And ASEAN nations are at the heart of the future digital economy. They're a unique cultural perspective that ASEAN nations can bring. There's a real opportunity here, but the important thing is to have a seat at the table and to be bold about the voice that ASEAN nations are expressing, so that the standards that shape our new technologies reflect the values and principles that the people of ASEAN nations expect their governments to express.
So this is like an important bit that should be you should be focused on, because in coming decade, ASEAN will be like a really strong power. So because of why? Because of the human resource this region has, all right?
2030, this region has the potential to be the world's 4th largest economy. The people in ASEAN nations are looking to take advantage of critical and emerging technologies at a really rapid clip. Standards can ensure that technology in this region is developed in a way that maximises the crop production, that maximises access to healthcare, to high quality education, that minimises the disruption that we see from natural disasters as we adopt better technologies to predict and mitigate those risks. CET standards are a great leveller of the playing field. If you're adopting and meeting those same consistent...
So I think like it sets the stage what we are talking about at the moment. So in this case, I'll be talking about how AI, blockchain, IoT, and these helps, and the key drivers will be like what has enabled it is the data abundance. Now we are surrounded by so much data. Even everyone has a mobile phone, laptop, and they all work on digital platforms. So there's so much data. Computational power has increased. Like you can calculate so much data from like very small computing power. So, and there's also extent of like open research, which is doing this. So with this all background, I'll be moving forward here, and we'll be looking at how we can change these things in perspective. So based on this one, I just want to know, like those of you who are already online, may I know like if there's any critical or emerging technologies that you have worked with? Is there any of like those of you who are already online? You can just go to vvox.app, enter the ID. Is there any critical or emerging technologies that you have worked with? Anything should be fine. Like if you are in telecom, or like if you are like even if you are surrounded by it, that should be sufficient for now. All right, thanks. So in this case, like yeah, internet is a good example. You and I are connected because of this internet. I'm sitting here in Birmingham, UK. You are all in most of you are in Jakarta, Indonesia, and maybe like you may be in different places around the world, but like this is something that internet is something that is making us to join each other and like communicate with each other. So this is like one of the critical and emerging technologies, and we'll see like how AI actually affects it. So some of the abbreviations I see, like as you mentioned, you all are from very diverse areas. So these are the few terms I would be like repeatedly using here. So AI, everyone knows, stands for artificial intelligence. We have like the way we humans are intelligent, so we are trying to replicate that. In terms of artificial intelligence, we have AAIAS, which stands for AI Application as Service, AAIIAS, which stands for AI Infrastructure as a Service, POC, Proof of Concept, and then MAAS, Mobility as a Service. I'll be trying to touch them again and again as we move forward, but this is just an highlight like how we can work here. So what I'll try to do with, like, since you are already from like a very background thing, so what I'll try to do is I'll suggest like few fields which might actually work really well in this, how we're gonna proceed. So in this case, what I'm trying to do here, like if we want to talk about the rapid expansion of these technologies, like frontier technologies, critical technologies, so it is mentioned that in next decade, the whole this technologies will increase sixfold, and the value, if we talk about in terms of value, in terms of economy, it will reach to like 16.4 trillion. So this is a report from UN Technology and Innovation Report. From there, like they have these things. So like if you see here, like how they are divided here, like you have industry 4.0 frontier technology, and then you have green frontier technology and other technologies. So AI, Internet of Things, big data, blockchain. So these are like really developing things, and these technologies help solve complex problems. Okay, like if there is like allowing time-consuming undertakings to be like carried out even efficiently, and they offer potential for scalability, because since we are living in a growing world, so we need solutions that are scalable. Okay, so one measure by which we can assess is by the market size. So that's why I said like in what's the total revenue it can be generated. So frontier technologies, so like if we look at the data from 2023, so it was around like 2.5 trillion. So that's like really huge. And it's like I said, by 2033, like in next decade, it will be increasing to like 16.4 trillion. So that's like a compounded annual growth of around like 20%. So in this case, it's good, like since you all are at very good stage, you can select and you can explore like what are the different technologies, like drone technology, robotics, 3D printed, 5G, fifth generation telecom. And then in green technologies are like a boom, because every country is trying to go achieve net zero. So you have like solar photovoltaic cells, you have concentrated solar power, biofuel cells, biogas, and also this also has like this comes under the category of green frontier technologies. Okay, so nevertheless, these technologies are already being deployed on a substantial scale, and they present like a very strong market potential. So in this case, like what I would like to say these numbers, so I can just show like what I'm talking about here. So if you look like what it was, like AI and IoT, that wasn't like 2023, but it is rapidly going into these few things in the coming time. Okay, so this is what this means, like the surge that is happening, because you see that there's like continuous breakthroughs which are happening in AI, which actually gives so if you look like the chat GPT, I think most of you are aware of like chat GPT, and they're like from Google Gemini. So they are looking into more and more adaptation of AI, and with a surge in interest like of generative AI, this is like the next thing that is happening. The organization across like different countries and like industries, they're experimenting with it. And like you can do a lot of tasks with all of this, like you can create content, you just type a statement, and then these technologies will give you like whole video. You don't have to do all these things. So content creation, product development, automated coding, personalized customer service as well. So these are the few things that we have been working on. And like if you look, the IoT, which is like a very big part now, which will still continue to grow. So this growing network of physical devices, like we have computers, we have laptops, and then we have these lot of physical devices we are surrounded with. So this can contribute to around like $3.1 trillion in the global economy in the coming decade. Right. So these are the few things that you should be focusing on, like how these emerging and frontier technologies are working with each other. So we will just have a look like how these things work, how we can work on these patterns. So before that, like, let me just this thing here. So we will see like how AI has evolved. Since you all are very young, you have been using computers from a very young age. But I still remember when I was first introduced to computers, I was working with Pascal, and then a very basic language called Logo. So in that, I had to use like FD and very basic commands. So that was like around like 25 years ago when I first came across computers. So I'll just quickly touch upon what I mean by evolution of AI. So I think all of you know this thing, which is called a Turing test. This is a very standard test, and it like it actually defines. I hope you all know what is the Nobel Prize is. So if you talk in terms of computers or like in AI, so then Alan Turing Prize is the like the Nobel Prize in computers and technology. So then AI was coined in like 1955. And then you have like expert system. I think we all use expert system these days. It's like for example, if I give you an example of you go to a doctor, right? So what happens there? So like you tell, okay, this is the problem I am facing. So the doctor will do some like very quick test. They might take your uh, temperature, they might listen to your heartbeat, and from there they will devise something, like they will come to a conclusion. So this is what expert system is. So you just give some questions to this system, and based on the knowledge the system has, they will give some uh, output. So this is like a first wave, which was rule based. So you give some questions. So it will be very like sequential. And then in that case, you will be given some output. It was stagnant for a while, but then like after we got this into like a lot of data, and we had this computation power, then all these terms like big data, machine learning, deep learning, they um, started evolving. So this was the like second wave, and I think this was the wave that when I went into robotics and AI. So you can see here in this time period, there was like a huge amount of this data that was being generated, and we were able to like compute that. So on the left hand side, you will see like the data generated here, and on the right hand side, you can see how performance, like GPU performance. I think those of you who already play games on computers, like GPU stands for graphical processing unit. So how it has been increasing, right? So like now we are able to do like billion flops per second, and they have like per dollar. So you can see here, there has been like GPU performance has been increasing as well. Now, all of you who are using iPhones, like Siri, AlphaGo, I think, was the first computer who actually defeated a person, like a professional chess player. Uh, and then you all know ChatGPT and Dolly. So like these are the few things that we are aware of. So now what lies ahead is third wave, which is like contextual adaptation. By that, what do we mean is like it's all about like generative AI. So When we talk about these things like how AI has evolved, so this is something that how when we talk about these three waves, the how like these things are working. So in this case, like what we are trying to work here. So rapid expansion is something, and then in this case, like as I explained, the third wave which we are talking about, which was based on the second wave of 1990s, like which was based on statistical learning, which actually used large amount of data, and like machines, they could revise rules. So in the first phase, it was completely rule based, but in the second wave, the machines were able to revise rules, and then they were able to provide more flexibility. Okay, so I think you all know like ImageNet. It was like a large scale system for image recognition system. So from like a lot of human annotated designs, images. What do I mean by annotation is like you give an image and then you name it. So it's called annotation. So based on large number of like human annotated images, it was able to create like a human image recognition system. Okay, so these are the few things, and then like AI, like I said, Gen AI, which has like trained on a huge data sets. When I say huge, it's really in like large amount of data, and it uses like complex algorithms to generate statistically probable outputs. So this is what all I think in end of 2022, um, it was OpenAI which actually introduced ChatGPT, and then like it completely revolutionized the way we search. So before that, we all were using Google for as a search engine, but here like it completely revolutionized how we work. So like these growing capabilities and adaptabilities of AI, they represent like a paradigm shift that is transforming it into like a general purpose technology, like it, and it can be used for like different uses as well. So with that, like I'll take a bit upon like how industrial uh, revolution changed, and then evolution of AI. So if you have any questions, you can just write it down or like share it with me, and then we will try to look at that in a bit. Okay, so industry revolutions. And so we just talked about like AI, but I wanted to talk about the industry as well, because the topic that we are working today, like we are trying to look into, is involves different industries. So I think if we look at these industrial revolutions, so in this case, initially it was like started with James Watt when he came with this steam engine, right? So there was this thing like how water can be used to create power. So with that thing, like it already evolved, and then we came to these things like how uh, there was a mass production in 1990s. So especially like these world wars, they actually fueled to this mass production, and that was uh, of course, like wars are really deadly, but they already they led to like huge transformation. So uh, if we talk about like computers which were around like 1970s, electronics came in. Like electronics also has like a huge impact on how we work and how we understand. So if we look at these things like how they have worked, and if we talk about especially like we are in like 2020s, where like fifth industrial revolution is going on. So this is the like AI is considered to be the latest sequence of all the industrial revolutions, like when we talk about the artificial intelligence. So in it, like we started from 18th century, where like the power of human labor was expanded by spread of a range of technologies. For example, like steam engine, spinning machinery. The second industrial revolution in 1990s were driven mostly by diffusion of electrical power and standardization of machine tools. Now, the distinctive feature of this AI is ability to like amplify the human intelligence. So like it's all about human intelligence, and then intelligent machines actually allow for more effective human and robot collaboration. So we are not completely focusing on what machines can do, we are now talking about how human and robot can work in a collaborative way. So this is like a new wave of technological transformation that will actually reshape the society and the economy that we are working in. So we will see like how these things, I'll try to relate these industrial revolution with the number of frontier activities that we are trying to do. All right. So just to give an idea that how these fields are varying, I just want you to have a look at this number. What this actually says is like, I'm just trying to put number to each and everything. Okay. So if you look at these figures here, I'm just continuing with the three fields we had, Industry 4.0, Green Frontier Technologies, and your other technologies. So in this case, when we talk about like how this values are like being changed, so in this case, you can see here like the number of patents. So I'm just talking about from this to like 20th century. So how from 2000 to like current, like until like last couple of years, like what the number of patents have been done. So you can see like there's a lot of patents that are happening in the field of AI, IoT, big data, robotics, and electrical vehicles. Like with Tesla, like everything has been changed. Like there are lot of other EV vehicles, EV making companies who make electrical vehicles. But like what differentiates Tesla is like when they came up with this idea of working with like making this whole thing into like electric. So this is something like has been possible all because of the knowledge creation. And you can see here like by these numbers that it's really gathering a pace, right? So there is rapid rise in number of research publications and patents, right? If I put number, like if you can see here, AI itself has like around close to 340 100,000 patents. Like you can see here, it's somewhere a bit lower than 400K, but its number is around like 340,000K. So you can see here, like it has been increasing. So other industries such as like, IoT, robotics, big data, they also generate light of publications and patents. And if you see here in like green frontier technologies, it's mostly biogas and biomass that are like leading the thing. So if you see here, like different countries often specialize in like particular fields. So that's why it puts ASEAN is in the whole region in a very precarious position. So like, and this is like evident in the revealed technology and like the advantage of a country. So like each country has its own advantages. So this is what we want to leverage. So in this case, like you can talk about like developing economies like Germany, Japan, and all those countries. But then we ASEAN as like a developing nations, we can look into and how we can we can build on the type of knowledge we have by attracting investments and the talents we have to give them edge in shaping the technological trajectory. So these are the few things that you have to look into. So from here, let's deep dive into what AI in business, like global and Southeast Asia insights we are talking about. So I'll quickly give with the example of Grab. I think all of you know how Grab, which started as like a taxi agglomerator. Like the idea was to, rather than you going for taxis, taxi will come to your doorstep. But do you know what they did? Like when they started, they did differently. At that time, it was mostly Uber who was in the market. But then when Grab came, like it completely revolutionized this whole thing. And I remember I was in Malaysia when I used Grab for the first time. And I slowly saw like how Grab acquired the whole market. And then I think in a couple of years, around 2015, 2016, Uber was like completely out of the market. So I'm still talking about like 10 years ago, but have any of you studied like what Grab did differently in terms of uh, like pushing Uber out of the market? Anyone who knows like what they did differently? No? So basically like what the difference was in case of Uber, yeah, the charge was the price of your total trip was variable. It can change depend on thing, but Grab actually fixed that whole amount. So independent of like, so the user or the rider will be aware beforehand how much he or she will pay. So that was the main thing. And based on that, like, especially in Southeast Asia, Uber was like completely like thrown away by the market of Uber and even by Grab. And then even Grab, like slowly they acquired whole Uber thing. So I'll just look at like important use cases. I think we talked about like image processing, ImageNet. So how humans actually annotated images, and then from there was like a big image, huge data collection of image, and this is also like affecting your supply chain. So in predictive analytics and customer behavior. So these are the few top use cases that actually help in working with different things. And how we are working with value chain transformation, it actually reduces the cost and it enhances decision making, and it gives like a customized solution to each and every of like what it's required. So with this capability, like what we have here, AI in business of like driving productivity and like economic development, AI is already like giving like a huge impact on like the lives we are living. So here it's like a work that is being done in terms of like artificial intelligence, and it's the potential to keep up with the technological race. So what we will be like looking here is like how AI in like different use cases like image processing, like uh, there are like surveillance everywhere, which actually helps in keeping down the crime at a lower level. And then it also like helps in like doing stopping from illegal activities. So that has been a lot of things, and we will see like how these examples. So like if you look into like Grab, now they are using AI in real time ride allocation, and then they also looked into like fraud detection. So fraud detection is something that has been there for a while. It has been there like when you work with what do you call it, when you go for like a insurance or like a loan. So then you can also see like how it actually changes everything. So in this case, it's recommended like that there's a creation of a backend database which actually captures how these AI applications with proven business models are working. So with these like systematically like segmenting the existing AI solution across the verticals that I have discussed around the three verticals. So database, what we'll do is like it will strengthens ASEAN's position in helping and the AI development and deployment. So it's not only about tech development, but also like the deployment, right? Any question here, anyone? Like if you have any thoughts, anything, so feel free to like share it in the chat as well. So with this, like I'll just quickly like turn it to how we can how we like as an academician. So you will be like the audience here will be like future working with these technologies, and as a university, like that what is the thing that can be done. So this is like a very key important points that can be leveraged, and that will help in accelerating the AI progress. So if you look here, one of the things is like infrastructure. So we need to have like infrastructure that is required, and then like the data and skills. So I'll just look into like I'll just explain like what I mean by all these things. So here, let's have a look at the like if I'll just touch upon like what it compared to like earlier AI waves. The current AI surge has a greater depth and like breadth of penetration. Why I say that is because AI technology is having like a wide range of potential application in different fields. Okay, so when we talk about these things, so if we look at how these things are like working, so let's say talk about the infrastructure first. So like infrastructure requirements, just they go beyond the basic provision of like, so first you need like electricity, and someone mentioned internet. So that is the like first thing, like there should be like electricity and internet. So electricity is still uh, in like really remote parts, it's still a very important thing, like it's a necessary that needs to be done. So if you are getting like a 24-hour uninterrupted supply of electricity, so then you should be like thankful. And then this also like compromises the computing power and like server like capabilities. So like let's say if you have significant storage like network connectivity, so then these things can be done like for security and backup systems. So these like need, so these are needed, like your infrastructure is needed for like huge amounts of data to run algorithms, like execute models and transmit results worldwide. So infrastructure is really important. Then we come next to the next thing, which is like data. So data is the primary input. So just imagine like a baby. So baby, when when a baby is born, when the baby comes out into this world, so they don't know anything. So how do they learn? So like uh, as compared to adults, the baby's neurons, they like grow at a rate of like 700 per second. So they are learning really fast. So like whatever they see, they hear, they tend to like grasp it really fast. So that is very much similar to like what we try to do in artificial intelligence. So we need data, and this data is really important for training, your validation, and how you test your algorithm. So they actually, algorithm is nothing, it's just like a sequence of steps that you will do to like perform a task. So in this case, like they are like validating and testing algorithms. You need to like classify inputs, you need to generate outputs and make predictions like what will be happening. So this is like data is therefore like a critical thing. Like I think we have looked into the first like initial video, that how this critical socioeconomic asset of data is important in decision making process. So data and your AI system. So like AI is at the heart of this whole structure. So this is actually needed. So data and like high quality, diverse and biased data are untrustworthy system. And data and AI systems will interact dynamically. So they will like interact in a dynamic sense, making it more popular and thus capable of collecting more and more data. So it's like a cycle. So you give some data, you do your algorithms, you process it, and then it will again start like generate more and more data. So this dynamic and like scale effects are actually required to widen existing data related technological gaps. So, and the last I want to touch upon is like skills. So this is like where you all come in. The skills range from like a very basic like data literacy. Now everyone is working with Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, Microsoft PowerPoint. So like this are very like basic things. It's like you know, like swimming was one time like a very basic skill. So now this is like using computers. So how to use or develop like appropriate like techniques, algorithms, market like models, and then from proficiency in like data analysis to a combination of technical expertise. So this is like things which are required at the moment. So as as like someone who has gone through the process of learning these things, I'll suggest to actually like how like skills empower the workforce to use AI to solve like complex problems. So these three leverage points that I have talked about, like infrastructure, data, and skills, So they actually create synergistic and like a positive feedback loop. So like I said, you need data, and then you run your model, your algorithms, and it will generate more data. So that's like a cycle. So the more you have, the more it works for you. So the more affordable and powerful like computational resources enable the processing of vast and complex data system, as you can see here. So these are the few things that actually allow how things we use, and then the abundance of this diverse data actually provides a rich foundation for AI training models. So I'll just suggest like this, how this dynamic interaction, this one, between infrastructure, data, skills, they are actually enabling, they foster continuous improvement and continuous innovation in AI technologies. So this is a very important bit, and we all of us act as an academician in the field of academics, as like who are learning to, we are turning to uh, work. So in that case, these are a few things that will be really helpful. Okay, so when we talk about the frontier technologies and that how AI is, so this is very again important, that how AI augments with the frontier other frontier technologies. So we have looked at the different technologies here, and then in this case, like AI is actually helping with other frontier technologies. So for example here, like IoT, big data, all of these things we have talked about, but in this case, like AI is also working with or like helping them, right? So these are the few things which actually helps in this working. So like AI is now part of each and everything. So you can't differentiate, or like you can't separate AI with IoT, 5G, big data, blockchain, or these kind of things. So AI with other technologies is becoming even more powerful and powerful. Okay. So with this, like I'll just I want you all to like go back to your mobile phones or your devices, and like any process, name a process that comes to your mind, that you think like you are working with, or like that could actually benefit from AI. So this is just like one process, like how you can benefit from AI. So let me have a look at some questions as well. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I think like the questions which are being shared in the chat, like I'll be touching them a bit later, like how AI is being used to automate legal tasks. That's good, such as like document review and contract analysis. What are the implications of AI on legal ability and accountability? How can lawyers and legal professionals adapt to their to the increasing use of AI in this field? So yes, this is the bit that we'll be looking here. And AI tools, do you recommend? So when I talk about like AI tools that one has to like work on, or that AI tools that actually can help you. So AI is like, when you talk about like artificial intelligence, so it's mix of things. So if you want to be like someone who wants to provide these services, rather than, so currently we are consuming these services, so we are consumers. So let's say if you want to produce, so I think it involves a bit of like a lot of mathematics, computer science, and then learning into like data, like so data, you should be able to work with statistics. Okay, so these are the three main fields. So if I talk about tools like you want to use to actually learn how you can work in the field of, so for uh, computer science, I think Python is a very strong programming language that you can use. Another thing is for like machine learning that you should be aware of, and then you should be like also be aware on like R and other statistical tools. So these are the few tools that you should learn to actually make a career in AI. Now, if you want to look as from a consumer point of view, if you want to know few tools that you want to recommend. So I have like given you example of chat GPT, like that is like what it's trying to like completely exploit chat GPT, in the sense that you can give from like a small statement, you can create like a whole video, right? And then you also have so many things going around, like Gemini, Google is coming with its own, Microsoft is coming with Bard. So all of these things have their own ideas, and then they work in these tools. So like, for let's say, for example, thing is like example for like language, right? So like in this like ever globalized world, we talk so many different languages, but then how we communicate, so like there is like deep translator, right? Deep L, so it can actually talk about, like it can translate real time things, right? So those are the few things that actually work on these things. So like you can see here, like fixed coding, like marketing, logistics. So these are the sectors like we have discussed that this actually helps in working, and AI can be used in all of these fields. So that's good. So with this, like we will just continue with this thing, and I'll come back to the questions regarding law, like legal things, how we can do that and how it's matched. So in this case, what we can do is I can give like an you can give like an industry with a use case in the chat, or if you want, you can continue here as well. So what we have already looked at the infrastructure, the data and skills. So with this, I'll quickly try to relate in, I think all of you must be aware of United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. So sustainability is the key word here. So how they actually relate it. So if we already have the infrastructure, we already have the data and skills. So how, as like as a developing nation, how we can work toward like AI adoption, AI preparedness, AI policies, and global governance. So I think this, when we talk about legal and business point of view, so I think policies and global governance is something that is really important. So how we can work in this time frame, so that actually helps. So in this case, you have like different case studies, like like the applications in like developing countries. So and ASEAN region in whole, like it actually depends, like it actually affects like how we can do that to make it more like we can make AI more applicable. Then we have like AI preparedness assessment along with infrastructure. So how we can use these four things, and then how we work with this all of the information that is available. So most of the important things that we are working here is how we can use how we can adopt AI, how we can prepare for AI, and then what are the policies and things that are related to work in this question. So one of the important things that we have been working on, like if we look at the recommendations that have been going on, like how we can work and how we can work in this situation, is like so if we do by like step by step, like how do we adopt, how do we prepare, and then what are the policies that we are working on, that will be the thing that needs to be worked upon. So in this case, all of us are required to give their contribution, which actually helps in understanding, right? So in this case, like emerging common approaches, like how we can work on those things, and then how we can reply to those kind of applications. So for example, like if we talk about some data-driven business models here, so it is like AI application as a service and infrastructure as a service. So we have already talked about the infrastructure. Now you have each and everything, how you want to create that as an application. So, and also like from B to C, like business to consumer, like how there's like a shift from consumer to industrial edge solution. So in this case, when we talk about business models. So how, like, if we look at these things where we are talking about AAS, like application as a service, or if we talk about things like how we can work these things. So if we look at this particular example of AI applications, so AI applications as a service is like, for most AI application providers that usually like develop sectoral solutions to tackle like specific industrial and enterprise business. So what they do is like they will normally generate revenue through commoditization of AI software. So you sell an application, and that will be the main role. So a lot of these AI application providers are basically startups, and they run their business model based on application as a service licensing model. So they create this application and they use as a license. So for example, all of us are connected here through Zoom. So this is like an application as a service. So they created this platform, and now they are selling it to like different organizations. Even as an individual, you can buy a subscription of Zoom. So this is a thing. So for example, like we are AI adopters as an organization, as your university, we are AI adopters. We decide to partner with AI technology startups, and then we develop tailored made solutions here. Okay, a revenue sharing or like a data sharing model could be adopted. So you can work with your university, and then in both, like you and the companies, like both the companies will have like you meet like a common interest. So both the technology provider, like as a producer and as a consumer, like both can agree to like build a proof of concept. Like I think I have discussed that before. So if it works, both party can share the benefits in the form of a revenue. So this implementation of like application as a service, it provides AI technology providers charge their customers with monthly running costs. Like for Zoom, I think is the same. If you get like a subscription, so then you have to pay for that. And then you can also, for some few things, like you can as well have like operational support and training fees. So let's say if you so I think mostly it's Oracle. They have this whole system of like HR and payroll system, and they come with like with your different needs. They actually come with like what that could be done. So they provide like regular training to the staff, and based on that they work on. So they also work with like if you need any customization based on an institution, they also do that. So in this case, AI application as service is a variation of software as a service, like I think SaaS model that could actually accentuate the role of sectorally competent AI companies. Okay, so but that is a bit different from like how software as a service is normally sold as like per user basis, but application is priced by transaction. So that's the major difference, so which we are talking about. So in this case, like when we talk about these data driven, so based on the data, these are the few business models that we can look into, right? So like another thing we call about like infrastructure. Now we know like everything is on cloud, right? Even iPhone users, they buy storage on cloud. So let's say if you run out of storage on your device, you can buy like iCloud, right? So there are things like for several reasons, like if you cannot have your own thing, so then infrastructure as a service by this is the thing that where you can offer computational services, and you can use such as like infrastructure and pre-trained algorithms. So I think you must have heard of the APIs. So they charge the usage of AI technologies based on these APIs. So these are a few things that you can work on, and then we can look at the case study of like IBM Watson. So with this EU, like I also want to reflect like what developing nations, as a developing nation, what ASEAN can do. Let me give me a moment so that I can share with you like what these like developed nations like EU is actually trying to do. Okay, so let me see if I can pull that up. So in this case, yeah, so it will be like another kind of a video here. So let me see, I think that's the same one. So this is my sound still there?
Artificial intelligence stands as the cornerstone of our future, driving the new industrial revolution and reshaping how we live, work, consume, and govern our democracies. Europe can exert a positive global impact if we cultivate AI made in Europe, a human-centric AI. That's why the European Institute of Innovation and Technology has launched a special AI community with a mission to tear down systemic barriers impeding the development of AI in Europe. The rapidly evolving landscape of European AI holds immense promise. To see this potential realized, we bring together European businesses, SMEs, universities and cities to understand and address their needs in AI. We also develop tools to assist companies in seamlessly integrating AI into their operations. Yet, for European AI solutions to truly thrive, we need to support their growth. We do this by connecting big companies with startups, helping the whole industry flourish. But growth demands talent, individuals with the technical expertise to create AI. That's why we're empowering people to acquire deep tech skills, enhancing educational programs. By harnessing our collective human intelligence in this way, we can establish a leading European AI ecosystem. Join us to shape the future of artificial intelligence.
So this was something like EU has been doing, like how they work and how they work in this situation. Similarly, like so you can just go to this AI community artificial intelligence if you want to learn more about like how we are trying to do and like how we are learning these things. So we as like an developing country as a nation, like we can learn a lot about like how other countries are adopting it, like who are already at the forefront and how they work in this case, right? So next thing that we can work here is like the next bit we have seen like how we can do it in business. Now AI in law, like how we can work in these things is policy, ethical and legal implications. So we can talk about, I have already shared this, like how AI is working into it. EU is working into those things. Now we can work into like global perspective of like GDPR. So there is a really important thing like how you can work in GDPR. So like there have been companies which actually work in like, let's say for example, health, because your health data is very important. So like there are companies which actually work on like a self-developed compliant digital patient tracking platform, right? So they actually use this thing for, I don't know what happened. Just give me a moment. I think something is happening on my side. So in this case, what we try to do is like we get the whole system, and by
Well, I think Mr. Shiv Katiyar unexpectedly is having a problem right now. So maybe while we are waiting for him to join us back again, I'd like to remind you again to fill your attendance in the given link that has been attached into the chat room. And currently, Mr. Associate Professor Jacob Dedan has joined with us. Maybe Mr. Jacob Dedan, would you like to deliver some speech, sir?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Adi, Bunimas, and all the team members of Universitas Sugeng Martono, USH. Thank you for organizing this wonderful event, and I'm so grateful that we have Dr. Shiv today. I think he's still out, right? Yeah, okay, so that's okay. And we are also grateful to have the students here, also from UBD, Tangerang. Welcome to our university here in Solo Baru. I hope you all enjoy this session, and I also hope that this is an informative session for all of you guys. That's it from me, and I wish you all the best. Thank you, Mr. Adi.
Thank you very much, Mr. Associate Professor Jacob Dedan, for your speech. Now, I think we're back again with Mr. Shiv Katiyar. Maybe you might take your time to prepare for your ongoing lecture. Whenever you're ready, you can continue, sir.
Sure, thank you. Sorry for the thing I think technology does to all of us. It happens to best of us, like how these things work. All of a sudden, like here I went out, but sorry for that. Sorry for delay. Hi, Jacob. Good to see you. Long time, yeah.
Yeah, hi,
Hi.
Shiv, a good friend of mine. So for those who don't know, me and Dr. Shiv here, we studied together at Monash, Malaysia, and we had a very good time together. And welcome. It's an honor to have you here,
Thank you
Shiv.
so much,
Thank you.
Jacob, for giving
Yeah.
me this opportunity. So yeah, we have like covered a lot of points, and I think this is the last point that I'll be covering here, like AI in law, policy, and ethical and legal implications. So I have already shared like how EU is doing it, and now the bit that we can learn from them is like how AI is being used in different aspects as well. So I was talking about, like, for example, if you want to learn about how Southeast Asia is working on this thing, so we have this Singapore's model of AI governance framework. So from that, we can I think we can learn a lot, in the sense that if you want to see like how these things work, how in terms of legal and ethical implications, how we are working, how we can work in the algorithmic transparency, bias and discrimination, accountability and framework. So these are like really important things, how we work in these cases. So especially like if we talk about how to move forward with the framework. So each of us, like there have been like few questions, like if we want to start, like how we can work in the legal terms, like document reading and all those things. So there are like existing softwares which can actually help this, but like working into these, like GDPR, we as like a provider, we should work on things that actually help the consumers. So for example, like I'll give some data as well in coming slides, but we have to have like a AI strategy which actually helps us to meet the infrastructure requirements, and it provides enhanced access to the data, skill development and security to even prevent misuse. So ethical dimensions. So there is like a huge guidelines for ethical guidelines for self-driving cars. Okay, so there we as like people who are actually involved in the field of law, who are working with like policymakers, so there are a lot of like legal implications that need to be working. So let's say, for example, how we can leverage AI technologies to serve people and business and increase public service efficiency and user satisfaction. So in this case, like it also relates, like if you are working with AI in public services related, like ethics, technology, data availability, and impact like measurement. So these are all the few things, like we can look into these things to become like a leading center, like the ASEAN can become like a leading center for AI by pursuing like speedy and comprehensive transfer of research findings. So if you look at these things, like how we work and like how we try to accommodate these things. So one of the things, like I think one of you asked like how we can document review in automation, right? How we can work like smart contracts. So the smart contracts, they can be looked into like via blockchain. And then also like there should be few things like compliance monitoring, like if the things are compliant enough or not. So there is like a legal tech in practice, and AI is evolving it by like document review in automation and all those things. So here, I will request you all to use your devices once again. And if you go to like vvox.app and put this ID for me. So the question is like, should AI decisions be legally accountable? So do you think like when AI is taking this, for example, like self-driving cars, or maybe like having system like at a hospital, if you have an AI system, so should they be like legally accountable? So in this case, how you use all these systems, do you think like these AI decisions should be like legally accountable? Yes, no, or like you can't decide, or you think like they should be worked in conjunction? So these are the few questions that need to be pondered and these things to be looked into. So in this case, when you work at this thing, it should be always possible that how you can work or how it should be done. Let me see if I can see this thing or not. Uh, mm, I think I need to restart the thing. So those of you like who haven't, yeah, I think it should be up now. So either you can scan this QR code or you can like go to vvox.app and enter this thing. Okay, so I'll get back to the thing like we were working on. So how we can work, should AI decisions be legally accountable or not? So I think like it should be working now. So few of you are unable to decide at the moment, but some say like shouldn't be legally accountable. So of course, like we are still pretty new, like how it should be done and how not. So there's still like a legal frame. So that is why people from law and all these people from like who are making policies, they come into picture and they decide like what needs to be done, like how one should be against, like let's say if AI had made a decision, how it should be challenged or not. Okay, so another question is like, is there any like legal or ethical concern, do you think, like which is most urgent in AI deployment? So like when we talk about like AI deployment, is there any legal or ethical concern, do you think? So this is like one question. You don't have to answer it now, but it's something like if you have worked with, or if you have like if you work with, like what kind of a legal or ethical concern you will have. Okay, so with that, I'll touch upon a bit more upon like urban development. I saw like not many of you are here from this background, but smart city is something that is working. And then I heard like the Jakarta smart city program is also going on. And then you have Bangkok's traffic analytics system. So they actually work in this kind of thing. And like smart city frameworks are already existing in place where they work with like
Well, I think we are now having another unexpected issue happening to Mr. Shiv A. Katiyar. So please kindly wait for him joining back with us again. But just to remind you again, if you have any question, you might type it on the chat box. And once again, don't forget to fill your attendance in the given link within the chat box. All right, I think he is coming back again. Let's wait for him.
I am really sorry for all these interruptions. I think it's a sign that it's it's time for me to end this session here. So I'll just quickly touch upon like my ending comments here, that how these things work, and then based on like what we have been talking about today, I'll leave you with a few questions that how you want to work with, how you want to take these things back home today, and then you can work from here. So I have been talking about these smart AI things which you can actually work on and look into, like traffic management, energy optimizations, surveillance, and urban safety. So in this case, what we can look into is we can look into all these things, and then as like since you all are like work living in a city, and then how it can be made more like smarter. So I'll suggest you like you could read more about these things, like how Jakarta Smart City program is working, and then can you design like a smart city? What do you think like it should be important? How do you plan like a AI driven smart district for like any Southeast Asian city that you know or like you live in? So you hear a few points that you can work into is like considering energy, mobility, governance, like and public engagement. So in this case, these are the few things that you can look into, and then based on these things, this will be like a good starting point where you can look into use of AI, and you will learn like how AI is making your lives much easier. So we have looked into like how drones, autonomous vehicles, and market as a service is actually helping each or all of us. And this actually helps not only in environmental AI, but it also helps in like working with the urban missions mapping. So how these things work and then how they relate to each other is something that we would like to look into. I'll look into this thing from this perspective, that how four channels which actually impact the productivity of workforce. So in this case, I just want to look into how when you're working with AI. So how like substitution like human labor, so and creating new jobs, and it deepens the automation. It actually works with all these kind of aspects. So uh, when we talk about like robot and like humans working together, so we work in these aspects which actually helps us gaining more and more access to these information. So when we talk into these information about like getting how we can adopt AI, so with the availability, affordability, awareness, and the ability and agency, we can actually include all of these things. So one, you are working with how do we develop energy? How do we develop all these frameworks and then productivity in a workforce? So these are the few things that which actually help in working with those kind of impact. So with these like for how AI actually complements human labor, how it works with these kind of different aspects in these things. So these are the questions that we look to answer. And if you look at infrastructure, data, and skills that we have looked earlier, so here we have looked into as AI can, like we know, AI can affect human labor and it like and productivity in different these four ways. Similarly, like if we talk about this, how do we substitute like a human labor? So AI can replace human works in activities where machines are more efficient. So then you can use your time in more in like other different areas, which give you more time to like spend and like with your family. So in this case, if I look at the example like of banking sector, so instead of like transactions being read manually, like AI can monitor like thousands of transactions simultaneously and detect any anomalies and sign of fraud. So this is something that you can also look into, like legal thing, that how this actually works, and then how it actually implements. So you can either substitute for like a human labor, or maybe like you can complement human labor. Or deepen automation, what do you mean? Like we can have more efficient than existing tech. So like AI can replace, like for example, in customer service, like if we're talking about like customer service, how like generative AI chatbots can replace conventional rule-based chatbots, so offering more personalized and accurate responses. So it is more customized, and it's like thereby improving of like firms overall operating efficiency. So the total with this thing, like the total of factor productivity without undermining the workforce, that all can be leveraged. So these are the few things that AI actually enables, and productivity in the forward. So like if you look at the creating new jobs, like AI is not like taking all the jobs, but it's actually creating the jobs. Like for example, like there has been a study that identifies like example like AI trainers who develop and upgrade AI models are required. Similarly, there are people like AI explainers, right, who tailor AI model to like a particular use case. So using these kind of thing, and then AI specific like user experience designers, like and we as like AI sustainers who monitor like and refine AI uses, such as AI ethics experts. So these are the few jobs like which are upcoming in the market, which can be looked into, and then it can be seen like how it can work. So of course, like it has been seen like AI definitely increases the productivity. And in some firms in Germany, like you can even work into like sales achieved per worker increase substantially in higher level of use of AI. So it has been proved, and it has been seen. So with that, like I'll quickly touch upon AI life cycle, which we have seen. We have looked into like data preparation, also into like modeling and AI evaluation. So these are the few things like how we want to use like AI infrastructure, that if you want to use in different types of skills, how skill prepared you are, how you want to work in these things. So based on these information, how data is generated, then it's annotated, how you create like a model, and then this model is being trained, deployed, and output for check. So this is the a very simplified AI life cycle. So anyone like who is more interested in like looking into how you can create like a AI system, so all of this can be easily looked into. Okay, so with that, like it comes like what are the skills for developing AI. So as like a society, we need like a basic digital literacy. So everyone should have like to use how like they are digitally literate. AI user, like we need to have like a sector specific and like transversal skills. And AI developers, they require like advanced digital skills like data science, data and machine learning, which I have touched upon earlier. So these are the links for skills that you need for adopting and developing AI. So with this, like if we look at this important bit, like economies with at least 2 million GitHub developers. So those of you who don't know what GitHub is, so GitHub is a platform where you can create code, and you can upload it, and you can share with others. So it's like TikTok, but or like Twitter, X, but like for mostly for coding and all those things. So if you look here, it has been, this is like a data from Toothy. So you can see here, like this is the number of GitHub developers that is being increasing. And then you see like a lot of countries from BRICS region, Brazil, China, Russia, and then also from like South Asia Pacific. So you have like Indonesia, Japan working together, and then they're like have work in this.
Well, I think there is another issue happening to him again. So let's wait for him. And again, to remind you, you might ask some questions through chat box and fill your attendance in the given link
Strinja.
Sincere apologies. I'm really sorry. I'm not sure like why it's happening today. I'm trying to go through it, but hopefully I should be able to do this. So this is again like important thing, like if you look into like how economies with fastest growth in number of developers, you can see here also like a lot of ASEAN countries like Indonesia, Philippines, their work, Vietnam, they are working in Singapore. So you can see here that the growth rate. So like the higher you go here, the higher the growth rate is. And then it is the number of developers. So you can see, of course, if you look at the case of Indonesia, so you have like that the growth rate, like it's growing at a rate of like 31%, and the total number of developers here is like somewhere around like less than 300, 3,000. So it's like 3 million users here. So you can see even like a country like Vietnam, which has like a lower population, they it's growing at a much faster pace, and they have like like they have like number of developers around like half of what Indonesia has. So you can see here like Philippines, Indonesia, they are already like this is the fastest growth rate number which we have been looking at, and this actually helps in adjusting all these. So without further ado, like I'll just quickly touch upon what are the barriers to AI adaptation, like why we are not able to adapt AI in this case is like technical problem like data quality and integration. So we need to be aware of like what technical data we have, and then the organizational. So we need to have like skill that are, and also people are like reluctant to change. So everyone wants to be in their comfort zone, and there is no like need for, they don't want to change. So this is also like few things which are working. And regulatory like cross-border compliance. When we talk about ASEAN, so I'm talking about the whole region: Indonesia, Malaysia, Vietnam, Philippines. But then you need to have like a cross-border implementation as well, like how you interact. So like if I talk about EU for say, so you have Germany, France, UK, all these are like big players, and then they have to work with the cost border transformation. So these are the like things. It's like a box visualization that what are the things that we are worried about. Like, so if you see here, the highest percentage is covered by the security, right? And so this is something that is important. So you want to save your thing, like whatever data platform you have, so you want it to be like a really secure thing. Then you have like a usability, it should be good to use. So these are the few things that you need to look into working. So when you work with AI algorithms, so let's say if you're working with an AI algorithm, so the development approaches you look into. So most of the things they say, like most of the people who are like working, they say like internal resources are employed in company to train the algorithm. So you can see here like almost 80% of the people say that you have to need to have like internal resources. So everyone is looking for something of these kind that actually help. So if we look at the developer side, so you can say here the most of the things they develop on like scaling up. So everyone is looking to like have more scaled version, and looking at like deployment of different AI solutions. So you can see here diagnosis. So like in medical healthcare is something that is really important. Image processing comes next, like it's very close to diagnosis. Image processing, like when you do for like even if parking system that they have like image processing, they capture your number plate, registration number plate, and then from there they can actually see how much they can easily calculate how much is your charge for that particular parking session. And then computer vision. So this is like again computer vision thing that using like cameras and all these things how you can use. And you can see here like robotics and chatbots. These are NLP translation system that are again make the bulk of the AI solutions. And this is like just the data, like what limited data for. So this is like one of the barriers we have. So there's limited data of AI training available for. So this is like the fuel for AI developers. This is for the fuel for AI applications that they need for limited. There is only limited data available. So that needs to be increased a bit more. Again, data quality. Data quality has to be good, fairly good data quality, but require additional processing. So this is also something that is required and actually helps in this case. Integrity is another important thing, which like data varies strongly and these needs to be checked, because in some cases, some of the firms, like it's okay to take images of the participant, but it's not. So like when you all joined here and the recording was initiated, so you were given a message that recording is in progress. So do you want to continue or not? So this is again like how data integrity works. If you don't permit, so then you won't be allowed to join the call. So these are the few things that look into how the data is being generated. And another barrier is the cost. So I have looked into like infrastructure earlier, that how you need like infrastructure. So you see like most of the things, solutions, we want to use AI, but most of the things, they are not suitable for AI at the moment. So that involves like a big cost. And then you need like a software, you need like software license fee, and then you need also like a person who is like expert in AI. So these are the few big costs that actually get into. So this is again one thing which actually hinders people from adopting AI. So I would like to like come up these things, like what are the technical challenges, ensuring like high quality data, technical knowledge gap, so making more affordability with like skilled professionals and AI. So how these things can be catered off. So these are the few things that we can look, looking into ethical challenges, like we need to, because based on the some countries, it's very different to like have images and all those things. So how we can ensure that existing inequalities between different access they don't have, right? So these are the few things that need to work on. Similarly, if we look at the economic challenges, so there is like, when we say like global north, that is like mostly the developing developed nations, and then south, so like developing countries. So like how we can ensure, because of the cost, this gap doesn't increase much. And then how do we facilitate local startups? So it's all about going local, right? And then how do we access like global markets? So first we apply a solution, we come up with a solution for a local market, and then we try to do it on a global scale. Okay. Regulatory, so this is something very much related to like law and like policy makers. So how you can make and develop comprehensive and context specific regulations that and standards which are used in AI, and how you can guarantee like developing countries have like a voice in international, because developed nations have already moved ahead. How like developing countries can actually work and then a voice in like AI governance and standard setting bodies. So these are the few important things that needs to be looked into, and that will be actually help. So these are the few things we have looked. And then of course there's like social and environmental changes, because we talk a lot about like sustainability, how we can manage the environmental footprint of AI, how we can effectively integrate AI into education system, so that our like if you see here, like even today, like Zoom, they have like a AI uh, tool that can be used, and how this can be done. So there has to be like awareness need to be raised, and then built need to be there is need of a trust that needs to be built upon, so actually it can be worked. And important bit is like security, that I have already touched upon, that you need how security can be used, how you can navigate geopolitical implications, how to prevent the misuse of AI in like surveillance, misinformation, other information purposes. So these are the few things that the challenge. So it's not all rosy there, it's not all good. You have to look into all different things and then how they work. So this is the opportunity, that how we can work with.
Well, another technical difficulty is happening again. So please wait for him to join us again. So let me remind you again, if you have any question or inquiry, you might type it on the chat box. It's fine to give your question in Indonesian language if you want to. Okay, he is back again. So please wait for a second.
I'll try to like take a few more questions and then I think we can end for the day. So here, like we can look into these things which we are working, and then based on that, we can look into few questions at the end. So if you can, let me just share my screen. Yeah. I think you should be able to see here. So this is like AI for climate, inclusion, and innovation. And then I have already touched upon like risk, managing risk and building. So this is something you can look into. AI, should I remain a tool or evolve into like a decision maker? So will you allow AI to like take decisions for you? So with that, like it's something like collaboration that is important. How do you work in like benefits of like multidisciplinary approach when you work with government, industry, and academia? How do you want to, because we are from academia, how you want to integrate with the industry, and then of course policy making comes with the government. So these are the few things that we'll work on, and then few takeaways from here, like which are the few. So I have looked into like how AI can be included into like different things. So quantum enhanced, so quantum is separate, and then you have AI. So quantum enhanced AI, and then regenerative urban design, and also working on like focus should be on like fairness, sustainability, and innovation. So this is something that like tech powered city initiative by like 2035. So that is something that also is looking into, and then you have like responsible AGI. So these are the few things that we are working, are being like currently looked into, and they are really help in fixing the thing. So just to wrap up the key summary points, this thing was illustrated from this one. So I'll just say that establishing like a public disclosure is really important. How you impact assessment, how you create public reports, and then enforce all these things. So this is like something really important when we are trying to apply. That is like one of the big takeaways for today's slide. And then how we can develop like digital infrastructure using AI. So these kind of things like physical, I think I have already touched upon all these like high speed networks, data center, storage system, and computing hardware. So these things are need to be required, and then by enhanced collaboration, real-time applications, and on-demand access to these things that will actually help here. Okay, so with that, I'll end my session. Hopefully it doesn't disconnect once again, and it's time for any Q&A, question and answer if you have any.
Thank you very much, Mr. Shiv Katiyar, for your thought-provoking presentation. Correct me if I'm pronouncing your name mistakenly, sir.
Yeah, it's fine. You can just call me Shiv. It's fine. Yeah, it's correct.
All
Yeah,
right,
thank you.
great. So now we open the floor for Q&A questions. So you might use the chat box within the Zoom
Yeah.
in either English or Indonesian, and you might raise your hand feature to ask it directly. Okay. So there is already a question from Mr. Professor Jacob Teran. Can AI be used to predict exchange rate of digital currencies such as Bitcoin?
Yeah, so like I think it was in 2015, like people are already using like AI for stock market. But the thing is, when you look at these things, right, like how to predict like exchange rate of a digital currency. So again, it's us, like it's on the other side. It's not like computer can't do that, or like AI shouldn't be able to do that. It's us on the other side, that as humans, so we need to provide AI with a lot of factors like what. So for example, recently, like we are in a situation where like constant wars are going on. Russia Ukraine started, and then you have like Israel in the Middle East, and then you have like India Pakistan going on, then Iran came into. So these are like so many factors involved. Even AI will take some time to get into these things, and then and all these things like these factors, they have effect on like stock exchange, and then how your exchange rate of like digital currency is required. So I think we are in a stage where we have like a lot of data, we have a lot of computation power. It's just that we are limited. So like if we are able to like provide that much of data, then I think it should be doable. And like a lot of people are still doing, they are doing it. Like they have system where they can see like which of the stocks to buy, which of the stocks to need to go, and which of the technologies will be rise in the coming will be rising in the future. So that is something that is very much possible. Yeah. So I'll say yes, AI can be used for this kind of system.
Thank you very much for your answer, sir. So I hope that can answer the questions. Okay. Yes. So there is another questions, and some of you have raised your hand. But before that, I'd like to give you some reminder or the summary of this presentation, right? So for those who have missed some of the parts of this lecture, so let me give you some highlights of this lecture. So according to Mr. Katiyar, the webinar highlighted the significant advantages ASEAN can gain from its demographic strengths, positioning the region to benefit greatly from artificial intelligence advancements. While AI is often viewed as a modern breakthrough, its origins trace back to the Turing test in 1950. Despite a period of stagnation, AI has evolved through three key phases. In the broader context of industrial revolutions, electronic technologies emerged during Industry 3.0 in the 1970s. Industry 4.0 brought a focus on business intelligence, while Industry 5.0 emphasizes automation and human-centered technology. The discussion explored how AI is revolutionizing business practices by enhancing image processing, driving economic development, reducing costs, and transforming supply chains. Additionally, the concept of AI application as a service was discussed, showing how businesses can adopt and scale AI solutions through flexible service-based models. In the field of law, the webinar highlighted Singapore's model AI governance framework, which serves as a reference for building trustworthy AI systems. This framework focuses on principles of transparency, ethical guidelines, safeguards against discrimination, and strong accountability measures to ensure responsible and fair AI deployment. In the area of urban development, AI is contributing significantly to the creation of smart cities, as seen in initiatives like Jakarta Smart City and Bangkok Smart City. One important use case discussed was urban emission mapping, where AI supports environmental monitoring and data-driven decision-making to improve urban sustainability and quality of life. It also explored the impact of AI on productivity and the workforce, covering several key points. First, substituting human labor. For example, instead of manually evaluating banking activities, AI can automate these tasks, creating new jobs. New roles will emerge to develop, maintain, and oversee AI systems. Third, complementing human labor. So AI can enhance human decision making and productivity rather than fully replace it. Last but not least, deepening automation, expanding the scope and scale of automation to achieve higher efficiency. The webinar also highlighted several barriers to AI development, however, including technical challenges such as data quality and data integration, ethical challenges including fairness, bias, and responsible use, economic challenges such as high costs of implementation, regulatory challenges including legal frameworks and compliance, social and environmental challenges, including public acceptance and ecological impact. Last but not least, security challenges such as data privacy and protection. So I hope that's all for the summary of this lecture. So let me continue to the next question. Um, we have, okay, so there is a Zoom user by the name of Neila Vala. Now it's your opportunity to ask the question.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, Mr. Shiv. I want to ask questions. As we know, nowadays, AI was the important and maybe the busiest software on our devices. All the people using AI for doing their job, their task, and other things. Okay, so I'm eager to learn what how how far can AI copy or even do better than humans in making decisions and being creative? As we know in the future that if human cannot learn a lot, we can what is it? Dikalahkan, defeated by AI, right? So how far can AI copy or even do better than human in making decisions? That's my question. Thank you. Good afternoon.
All right. Thank you for your question. I think I lost in a bit, but yeah, I got the question correctly. So in this case, what I'll try to tell you is that AI has really important. Let me just see. Oh, sorry. Yeah. So in this case, like it's really important that how you work out, like in this case. So if you look at how AI is generating, even this AI tool which we are working on, we work with different kind of things. So I think it's good way to like if you how you understand AI first, you embrace AI, and then working on that, you should be able to see like how you can adapt to AI. One thing is we should be able to like open to different things, and then once you are able to like see how you are working in these conditions, and then how you see AI can be worked into, that will be like really important. Did I miss any part of the question? Uh, I think that was like a bit of longer question. Is there any part that I didn't answer?
No, I think my questions that you've been answered so well. Thank you so much,
All right.
Mr.
Thank you
That's
so
helping
much.
a lot. Good afternoon.
No worries.
Okay, thank you very much. So let's continue to the next question. Um, there is a Zoom user by the name of Mrs. Miftahul Nurjana. So I'm trying my best to translate that in English. So, in your opinion, Mr. Sif, what areas or sectors are likely to experience the most radical changes owing to AI in the next 10 or 20 years? And how do you think the global community should prepare for these changes?
Oh yeah, so I think like it's very much related to like what we discussed just now. So if we keep like an open arm, and then we see like how things are working. So of course, like if you look at the US, and especially like the Western countries, Europe for that matter, so they are really ahead in climbing on this like AI thing. But with this technology, that is the good thing that with AI, even like ASEAN countries like Philippines, Indonesia, and Vietnam, they are also like catching up really fast. So because AI is like with computer literacy, with everyone like now having access to this, all this information, they can access all the information. That is what we discussed today as well, like open research. So open research is doing something so it's accessible to everyone. It's not limited to like only few people. Earlier, like us and then at point like in 1980s, USA and then USSR at that time, they had the major chunk, and they were like actually doing most of the things. But now like everything is very much divided. You can access each and everything, like if I'm in the UK and accessing all these things, so you can access this. The only difference that lies is the infrastructure. So it lies a lot about like how the government at that particular country and region is like working and how they do it. So at that thing we are stuck. But I think as a user, like if we want to create anything, we can do that on a local level, and then we can export it to like any other country or like any other part of the world. Right? I hope I answered your question.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. So the next question, let me read it out for you. So, based on your opinion, is the most realistic worst case scenario of AI deployment in the next 10 or 20 years, and how close are we to it?
Okay, so of course, like there are a lot of things happening, like the recent war between Iran and Israel, like they showed us like what we as humans are capable of. Like I still don't know like the all the information, but like how even AI was used in these kind of like war situations, right? So you see like Iran and like Israel, they are like on the two different sides of like Middle East, and then they were like just like they're targeting like with precision. They were targeting people with like accurate precision, and then it actually tells you like how you can do that. So I think like this is the main important bit in coming time. I don't think like the war that used to be, they won't be in that fashion. It will be like you see like there's a lot of misinformation also from both the sides. So the war is important on ground, in air and in land, but it's also important on devices like social media. So that is like another kind of device, like war that is going on. So you will see like slowly and slowly people will be moving away from like traditional war, conventional war, and then the war will be happening mostly on like social media. And then it's not only about like how it actually nurtures the picture. It narrates like a picture which these people want to. So coming back to the question, like how so that's why legal implications and policies are really important. But then like there are softwares, like there are spying softwares and all those things. So it is like something like this war, like it showed us like what humans are capable of. So still I can't give like a very decisive answer like what will happen. But the with the advancement of like digital technology, AI, things can go beyond like what's happening. So of course, like it will look into like different kinds of uh, aspects which we have never seen before. So yeah, like if you look at the positive side, you have soon you can go to like different, you can do interplanetary journey, like what SpaceX is trying to do. So like now we take flights, right? We go from one place to another. You can soon have like you can go to like interplanetary journey. So that is like good perspective, just like thing bit. But if you want to get like scary bit, so there is a lot of things that is going on there. And then we will only come to know when that happens. So that will be my take, right?
Well, thank you very much, sir. I hope that answered the questions. Wait for a second. I think he's not here at the moment. So let's wait for him.
So yeah, do you still hear me? Yeah, I'm with my
Yes.
other device. I'm trying to get back in. So if you have question, we can continue. Yeah. Adi, is
Okay.
there any other question?
Okay. So there is still any, sir. So let me read it out for you. So
Yeah,
there
thank you.
is some user by the name of Mr. Benny Daniawan. So here comes the questions. Some countries, say India, are indicating rapid technological advancements, um, evidenced by the large number of their professional working in Indonesia's IT industries. On the other hand, he said that he felt that Indonesia, especially with the progress of AI, we still tend to be in a user position. So, according to your opinion, what are the key strategies that Indonesia should implement to shift from being mere users to becoming key players in technology and AI development? And is the role of government in each country an essential key to accelerating this technological progress?
Yeah, thank you for the question. Like it's really a good question, and if like really want to do something, so then this is something that will help. So of course, like I said, Western countries are already ahead. They have done these. They already boarded this train a long while back, so they know like they are a bit ahead. And also it's like a process. It's like something that is evolving very rapidly. So if I give you an example, at one point Nokia mobiles were like completely dominating the market, but uh, once these smartphone came in, they come into the market, like Nokia was completely vanished, and now no one uses Nokia phones anymore. So I think it's a lot about like how we become literate about technology, about AI. The faster we evolve, the faster we embrace these things, the better it will be. It of course, like it depends on the government, like how they want to make the policies, in what direction they want to propel the country. But we as a nation, right, we as like an individual, we can also work into these in this fashion, where, because like I said, you and I are connected now, internet. The government didn't play any role, so it's up to you. So now you can learn from anywhere. Earlier, there used to be like books. People used to go to libraries to study, but now it's everything that is really easily available. So in this case, it's we who should take the initiative and work into these things, which will actually help in working, enabling more faster. So comparing with like as a user. So I think once you're a user, you can, what one thing as an individual you can do is you can try to solve local problems, the problems you have. And then based on that, once you propose solution to those kind of things, then you can just say and mention like, okay, this is something, then you can take that to like a global level. So I'll suggest, as like user, being a user, it's good, like you try to learn more about the technology, you try to learn like how things are working on, and then how we can work into these kind of things. So like, it will take time. It's like I think I showed you the evolution, like what were the evolution of AI, but like it's growing exponentially. So it's good to be as a user stage at this moment, and then you will be able to like catch it much faster. So there's nothing to be worried about. It's just about like um, take it more positively and like work into those directions, right? Thank you. Any other questions?
Well, thank you very much. I hope that answered the questions. Okay, so there is another one, sir. It is from my college. So he sent me the question through my
Sure.
WhatsApp. So the question was, what are the tips for finding data sets that are easy and have guaranteed integrity to be used as testing material?
So like I said just now, the world is really changing really fast. And then now the at some point the important commodity was oil. Like who were the countries who had oil, they were really rich. Now the countries who have data, they are rich. So that's why you have all these companies, like Meta, you have Google, you have Amazon. So these like technology companies, they want to have more and more data. And if you look at uh, countries that they have some problems, like if if the data center is located outside of the country. So like data is really important thing. So if when you are looking for if you want to find data sets which are easy and have guaranteed integrate, so like you can find things available online for free, then the next step will be like you have to pay some price for that, because data is very important commodity. Okay. And then of course, like if you it's like something, if you have a really good data, then you won't give it to anyone else, because you want to make most of it. So first I'll say, like, it depends like what kind of data set like you are looking for and what kind of testing you want. So the best thing, like even for my projects, I use my own data. I depend on like questionnaires. Depend on like using surveys. I create my own data. So that's why, like, if you want to do something, you have to like data is like very important commodity, and you need to like work on that thing. So because if you find anything which is free, so you know like what kind of data it will be. Even if you pay, so you know like it will be bit limited, right? So tips will be like you can go to open research, and these open research, like usually they are hosted by Stanford, like US companies, institutions like Stanford, Massachusetts, and Harvard. So they can help, like you can there you in their open courseware you can find data sets which will be like data which has like really good data, and data integrity will be like we won't be compromised. So that will be my suggestions to you. Right.
Thank you very much, sir. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so one last question. So I'd like to apologize that due to the limited duration, so the question from a Zoom user by the name of Mrs. Purwati would be the last question. Okay,
Sure.
so let me read it out for you, sir. So if an accident occurs due to an autopilot system failing to detect a person, resulting in that person being hit, who can be held legally responsible? The system developer, or the vehicle owner, or the driver?
Yeah, so like this has been like a very common question, like, and I think we discussed this as well. Should AI decisions be legally bound, or like they should be done? So currently we are in a stage, so that an autopilot system is neat. If I like there's a something like that accident occurs because of like autopilot system breakdown or something like that. So the only thing that will be here is like the person who was in charge at that time. So like the driver who is in the vehicle, the person who initiated the autopilot system at that time, he will be like charged. It's not like the developer or the vehicle owner. So it will be the person who is actually using that system. So I think with every application you use, you have term and conditions, right? Usually what we do, we just scroll it and we just press accept. So this is the part of that thing where, like, it tells you that how, like, let's say if something goes wrong, like who will be. So it's not the system developer, like who the person who developed the application, because once you say like, okay, you're gonna use the autopilot, so that particular individual, whosoever is there, they will be held responsible at current stage. Of course, like this will change. Like I said, this whole ecosystem is changing exponentially, right? So there the what might come tomorrow.
In this case, what I say is like it's something that is really important for us to understand, and it is really important to see like what we are trying to do. So there's so much also like fraud that is happening which actually helps in like attaining all this. But at this stage, I think it's only the person who actually who started the autopilot will be held liable. All right. I hope I answered the question.
Well, thank you very much for the answer. I hope that answered the questions. Well, unfortunately, the time is limited, so that was the last question. So there are still some other questions within the chat box and other feature. So would you like to give us some contact persons? So let's say there are some people wanting to collaborate with you or asking you some further questions.
So yeah, like in this case, I'll just suggest my LinkedIn profile is there. I'm always reachable on my LinkedIn profile. So that will be something that one can reach out to for any collaborations or anything that you want. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. Okay, so let me repeat what he just said, everybody. So if you would like to reach him out, so you all can visit his LinkedIn user. Okay, so in that way, you can collaborate, ask some further questions regarding this topic. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are now approaching the end of our seminar. On behalf of Universitas Sugeng Hartono and Universitas Budi Dharma, we would like to express our heartfelt gratitude to Mr. Shiv A. Katiyar for generously sharing his insights with us. We also extend our thanks to all attendees, students, faculty members, and institutional leaders who joined us today. But before we close, let's capture this memorable moment together with a group screenshot. Please take a moment to turn on your camera if you haven't already. So let me give you some time to prepare and turn on your camera. Okay. It would be pretty much quite a lot because now there are currently 57 Zoom users. So that would be multiple times of a screen capturing. So yeah. So take your time for preparing for this. So there would be my college who will take the screenshot. I hope you're all ready. All right. So I'll count us down on 3, 2, 1, smile. Okay. Again. 3, 2, 1, smile. Okay. Still. 3, 2, 1, smile. Okay, is it enough? Well, okay, yes. So yes, I'd like to apologize that maybe I haven't covered all of your questions once again. So let me remind of you again, if you want to reach him out, so you can visit his LinkedIn account, okay, through his full name. Well, as a token of appreciation, all participants will receive a free certificate according to your attendance confirmations. So before we close, let me leave you with a quote by Demis Hassabis, the founder of DeepMind. AI isn't just about machines replacing humans. It's about helping humans become better at being human. Let us carry that spirit forward as we build, teach, and lead in our own field. Once again, thank you very much for your time and participation. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you very much. Okay, so let me close. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera bagi kita semua. Salam Om Santi Santi, Om Namo Buddhaya, Salam Kebajikan. And see you at our next academic event. Thank you very much. Good
Thank you.
evening.
Thank you.
Have a
Thank
nice
you,
day.
sir.
Bye-bye. Thank you.